Hello you lot, Robert Beighton, Arro Fitness and Holistic Wellness. Before I start, remember to like the video, subscribe and turn on your notifications. Thanks for all the support thus far. But today, in my Arro tip of the week, I'm going to talk about the Russian kettlebell swing and why it's so important. The thing about the Russian kettlebell swing is, it's one of the most ill-performed exercises in the gym. Most people turn into a squat exercise. It's not a squat exercise at all, or a shoulder raise. It's basically a hinge movement, and that's why it's so important as a counteraction to our Western lifestyles. What do you do for the best part of your day? Chances are you either work at a desk, or you watch TV, or you spend time looking at your phone, and most of the time you look like this in this position, or like this, stooped over, sitting down in this position here, okay, and or sitting down in this position, so that all the muscles at the front of the body, the anterior muscles, become tight, okay, and all the muscles on the posterior chain all the way down the back become weak. Okay, now what the Russian kettlebell swing does, it works all the muscles at the back part of the body, the posterior part, your back, your butt, your hamstrings, also a bit your core as well. And that's why it's so important to implement this exercise to counteract our Western lifestyle. Part one of the kettlebell swing is the setup. Okay, so you're gonna have the kettlebell in front of the body, directly in the middle of the body, about 12 to 15 inches away from you. You're gonna have your feet just outside your shoulders. Now what you wanna do is, you wanna hinge from your hips and drive your butt backwards, okay, keeping your back flat in a neutral position. So when I lean forward in this bottom hinge position, with only a slight bend in the knees, I can just grab the top of the kettlebell and tilt backwards. Then the next part of the kettlebell swing is the hike. Okay, and this is important to keep your lower back nice and safe, because you see a lot of people taking the kettlebell swing from here, and I do a lot of that with beginners and novices anyway, just because it's quite an advanced exercise to coach all these points. And if they're using light kettlebell, it's not as bad. You see a lot of people starting from this position and then trying to swing from here, and that does healthy lower back. So if we go back to our setup position like this, drive the hips back, neutral spine, nice and flat, head down, not looking up at all, okay, in line with the body. And I'll just grip that kettlebell swing like in this position here. Now to do the hike, I'm going to pull this kettlebell back towards the body, okay, while squeezing my shoulders back into the joints, and that will flex the lat muscles, okay, which will basically drive the kettlebell through my body, so it looks something like this. Once again. Besides the setup and actually stopping the kettlebell swing, there's actually two parts to the actual movement itself, and these are the hinge and the root. Okay, so the hinge is basically where you're leaning forward from the hips, hinging forward, and the root is where you come back up straight. So I'll show you the 2 points. The hinge movement is really important that you hinge from the hips and drive the hips back. Now if you've got such poor hip mobility that you end up doing this and you can't hinge back from this point here, that this exercise isn't for you, and I'm going to show you in future videos the way you improve your hip flexibility and hip hinge flexibility. Okay, so what we do is, in the hinge, I'll have the kettlebell in a minute and I'll show you, I drive the hips back with the kettlebell in my hands, and I'll drive my hips back, keep my legs locked in that position, in that slightly bent position, and drive my butt back, okay? That I'll hinge back and I'll hinge from the hips. Now the root position is the opposite. It's where I swing it forward, driving through my butt, driving through my quads, so I'm pulling my knees up towards my body, and also squeeze my shoulder blades together. So in essence, it's like a standing plank. So this is what it looks like, the kettlebell swing. It's hinge, root, hinge, root, hinge, root, perfectly. Now the goal of the hinge is to get into the root as quickly as possible. The goal of the root is to get into the hinge as quickly as possible. So it looks like this from the hike. So notice when I put the kettlebell back, it's just a reverse hike. There we have it guys, Robert Beighton, Arro Fitness and Holistic Wellness, arrowwellness.com. Like I said before, like the video, subscribe, turn on the notifications, and you'll never miss another video. Follow me at Arro Fitness on Twitter, and hit me up for all your personal training, life coaching needs. Have a great day.